The date is September 10th, 2022. And I just wanted to talk about the Queen. And the Queen recently died. It says the Queen, let's see when she died. Just a couple days ago. September 8th. So the longest reigning British monarch died at 96 years old on September 8th, 2022. So it's been 2 days since the Queen's death. And I just wanted to bring up some claims and against the Queen. And I wanted to kind of show people who they're mourning, because I get really bothered when people mourn the deaths of celebrities, people whom they don't even know, and usually these people who they're mourning like aren't even good people anyway. They're drug addicts, they're satanic, they're pagans, their beliefs are just whacked out, and people just mourn them for no reason. They mourn them just because they wrote their favorite song, which might not even be very good, or whatever the case may be. People mourn celebrities who they don't even know, and these celebrities aren't even really good people. They, in my opinion, most of them are enemies of God. But I wanted to talk about a claim here. This is a claim that the European royals allegedly killed children in human hunting parties. 4 eyewitnesses testify. Now it says, this is by Judy Byington. 5 international judges are examining evidence of child rape, torture, murder, and kidnapping allegedly done by global elite members of the Ninth Circle Satanic Child Sacrifice Cult Network. Regular Ninth Circle child sacrifices were said to take place in the catacombs of Catholic cathedrals, the Vatican, on private estates and groves, and government military bases in Belgium, Holland, Spain, Australia, Ireland, France, England, and the U.S. And then it goes on to say at least 34 child mass grave sites were identified in Ireland, Spain, and Canada, and refused excavation by the respective governments, Crown of England, and Catholic Church. So that's just part of this article. But when I read that, the part where it says that these were said to take place in the catacombs of the Catholic cathedrals, the Vatican, and on private estates and groves. When I heard groves, it made me think of some scripture. And in Deuteronomy 7:5, it says, "But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire." And there's also another part in scripture where it says, "I will destroy your high places and cut down your sun images and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you. I will destroy your places of worship on the hills, tear down your incense altars, and throw your dead bodies on your fallen idols." And it just again, like the world that we live in is ran and influenced, driven by pagan, for lack of a better term, elites. These pagan monarchs, these pagan forms of government all over the world, they still practice these pagan rituals and these pagan systems and traditions that they did way back thousands of years ago. They still do the same thing. They still sacrifice in the groves, and they worship these idols, these Egyptian idols, these Roman, all these different pantheons. They worship all these pagans, these fallen these fallen angels, these demons, that's what they really are. They worship demons. They're satanic. But I just thought it was crazy that it said groves, and it just made me think of the Bible, what it says about groves in there. But it says here, just continuing in the article, named as present in Ninth Circle activities were Pope Francis, former Pope Ratzinger, Anglican, United Church of Canada, and Catholic Church officials, including cardinals, members of European royalty, including Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, officials of the Canadian, Australian, UK, and US military, and governments, including the USA's CIA, plus prominent government ministers, judges, politicians, and businessmen from the US, Belgium, Holland, Canada, Australia, France, Ireland, and the UK. It says teens were drugged, stripped naked, raped, hunted down in the woods, and killed by European royals, according to this week's latest eyewitnesses to testify before the International Common Law Court of Justice in Brussels. The woman was the fourth eyewitness to give accounts about these human hunting parties of the global elite Ninth Circle satanic child sacrifice cult network. A former member of the Netherlands criminal drug syndicate known as Octopus testified that victims were obtained for these human hunting parties from juvenile detention centers in Belgium and Holland. And then it shows a quote of right here. I'm not sure from who, if it's from the eyewitness, but it says, in 2004, I was an involuntary witness to torture, rape, and murder sessions of drugged children performed for a group of high-ranked people of the Netherlands, stated a woman. I was taken to a hunting party in Belgium close to Brussels, where I saw two boys and a girl ages 14 to 16 hunted and killed by global elites. The human hunting party was heavily guarded by the Netherlands Royal Guards. I was told that King Albert of Belgium was present. 4 eyewitnesses confirmed that as children and youths, they were forced to attend human hunting parties where they and other children were raped and with some killed, and deceased boys' genitals were cut off. Allegedly, there was a Dutch countryside palace where boys blank were displayed like trophies on a wall. Some hunting parties were hosted on the grounds of Netherlands at Queen Beatrix's palace. Dutch therapist Toos Nijenhuis claimed that as a 4-year-old she was forced to witness murders of children that involved former Pope Ratzinger, a Dutch Catholic cardinal, plus the father of Netherlands Queen Beatrix and Bilderberger founder, Dutch Crown Prince Alfred Bernhard. Says, I saw the former Pope Joseph Ratzinger murder a little girl. Another witness confirmed it was at a French chateau in the fall of 1987. It was ugly, horrible, and didn't just happen once. Ratzinger and Bernhard were some of the more prominent men who took part. In Ireland, Spain, and Canada, 34 child mass grave sites were discovered and appeared linked to Ninth Circle activities. The largest was the Mohawk Indian Residential School in Brantford, Ontario, where child remains were identified in 2008 before the Catholic Church, Canadian government, and English Crown shut down the dig by professional archaeologists. In 2013, ICLCJ court had found Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip guilty for the October 10th, 1964 disappearance of 10 native children from the Catholic residential school in Kamloops, British Columbia. In the first 2 weeks of the 2014 court, witnesses identified Dutch and Belgian royal participants in the rape and killing of Mohawk children and newborns. Named were Bernhard and King Hendrik, consort to Queen Wilhelmina of Holland. So this is some claims here just about these hunting parties, these human hunting parties. I remember reading about the Kamloops children. I don't know if any of you have heard about it, but it was that Elizabeth and Philip came, and they basically took some native children to a picnic, and the 10 children never returned. The parents never seen their children ever again. And I just want to, point these things out because these people are mourning the Queen. First off, we're Americans. The Queen means nothing to us. Who is the Queen to us as Americans? Just on that kind of grounds, like why should you care? And then on another front, if these people, these monarchs, and even presidents and politicians and whoever's in places of power here in America, if these people are practicing pagan traditions, pagan rituals, satanic rituals, practicing, these murder parties, why do we listen to them? Why do we allow these people to control us or govern over us? It says in the Bible to follow government, to follow the government if because God puts whomever at wherever he puts people. He decides everything. He's sovereign over everything. So he puts people where they are. But there's also scripture on defying authority when it gives ungodly commands, just like in Exodus when the Pharaoh was trying to kill Hebrew boys, telling the women to cast them into a river, and some didn't, and one of them becomes Moses, obviously. There's also in Joshua when Rahab helped the Israelis hide from the people in that town when they were during the Joshua's wars. There's also in 1 Samuel when Saul tries to have his son killed because his son ate some honey while he was out in the wilderness. There's 1 Kings when Obadiah is hiding prophets. There's Daniel 3 where Meshach and Abednego refuse idol worship ordered by the king in that area. Daniel 6 when Daniel defies King Darius. In Acts, Peter and John being arrested. Acts 5:29, Peter says we must obey God rather than man. And then also in Revelation is saying to disobey the Antichrist and his government. But my point is yes, we are supposed to obey authority. When human authority is doing what it's supposed to do, when human authority is following God and his statutes and his commandments. But if they're not, if they are following satanic traditions and pagan forms of living and rule, then in my opinion we don't need to listen to them. So people mourning Queen Elizabeth's death to me just seems strange, especially with all the claims and allegations and things I've read about her. Not only that, but if anybody is familiar with with BitChute, the alternative platform to YouTube. If you go on BitChute and look up Buckingham Palace and just scroll for a little bit, you'll find a video of a naked boy trying to escape Buckingham Palace. He tied sheets together and he's climbing out of a window at one of the top floors of Buckingham Palace, and he falls. We don't read anything about that in the news. We don't read anything about it anywhere. Nothing's written about it. There's nothing on it. Just this clip you could find on the alternative platforms, and we find nothing about it. So, to me, the Queen isn't worth mourning over. And we also have Prince Charles being crowned king. And I remember reading that Prince Charles was under fire for reportedly bailing out Andrew over Epstein, giving his brother $9 million as a loan for his Jeffrey Epstein settlement. And he also referred to it as a unsolvable problem. I know how you can solve that problem. You go through those flight logs that Epstein had, and you raid every single name on that flight log, and you try them in a court of law, and you see, what comes out. An unbiased court of law. You'd have to get some sort of small town judge or something like that to hear the case, because I'm sure any other bigwig judge and whatever is going to be bought off and probably a part of these satanic cults and rituals and whatnot. But I just wanted to make a quick video and explain to people to research a little bit more about these people who you mourn for, these celebrities who you mourn for, because when you dig a little bit, you start to realize that a lot of them are pedophiles and satanic cult members, child murderers in general. These people have thrones built on blood and bones, and they won't receive any mourning from me, and they shouldn't receive any from you either. But anyway, this is Luke the Dude, and the Queen is dead, but who cares? That's it.